Okay. Okay. So you probably hear that.
Yeah.
So again, Adam, I appreciate, jumping on kind of doing this and I guess we're, with us closing on Monday, kind of thought this was like a kind of perfect timing to do this. I mean, before we get into anything, like I guess how are you feeling about everything, being all wrapped up?
Good. I mean, now that it's coming to the close date, I'm getting pretty excited to, you know, have everything finally come through and, super happy that everything worked out well. So just, yeah, excited to close and, yeah,
Okay, awesome.
get
So I
her
guess,
done.
yeah. So I guess, why don't we kind of start from the beginning? I mean, I guess what was kind of going on, I guess with the property or like situation wise, when you kind of did reach out to us.
Yeah, I'd had the property for a while. It was my, residence. I lived in it. When I bought it, it was a bit of a fixer-upper. The guy in it before was in a wheelchair, so there was some special things in the house that I had to kind of rearrange to make get back to normal. So I've done quite a bit of work on the house through the years, but I kind of just ran out of money, and I had a partner living with me for a while, which helped with the bills. But then the bill between the bills and the renovations and everything, it just yeah, I kind of got stuck, and so I reached out because I'd already put some work into the place. I was trying to get the best value I could out of it. So, but I kind of was stuck at a point where I'd run out of time and capital to finish it myself. So that's when I reached out to you guys instead of just a real estate agent, hoping that you know you, you would see the value in the work that I had already done and finish it up, and we could sell it at a good price, which we ended up doing. So.
Right. I guess, before we kind of spoke, I mean, like, had you talked to any other buyers or had you talked to any realtors or anything like that? I don't know if you were kind of considering that.
No, I'd kind of scan the markets just to get an idea of kind of what it was worth, and what I could look to get out of it. 'Cause what if it was fully renovated? Like I said, I was done some work, but it wasn't fully ready to go yet. So uh,
Okay.
I'd also contacted another home buyer. And they had made me an offer as well, which was a decent, just straight cash offer, but it was still less than I wanted, and I knew there was some value in the house. It just needed some work, so uh, that's why I ended up going with you and to going the route that we did
Okay.
to try and get the most I could out of it,
Right.
which ended up working out.
Yeah, right. So I guess so when we kind of first discussed like the idea of doing something a little bit different, a little bit more
Mhm.
creative and instead of just like a straight cash offer, I mean, what were your kind of thoughts or your reaction, on that?
That well, because I was trying to get the most capital I could back out for return um, through my house. I went from owning to renting, so I was trying to get the capital out of the house so I could get invest, pay some bills, invest, and try and set me and my son up for the future. So yeah, the idea is the way that we had arranged it where I had, the potential to get more of the value that I thought the house was worth out of it. Was an interesting proposition. I was kind of looking at the property, as an investment, trying to think of it that way, think of it smartly, maximize my capital because, I wasn't buying another house. I would, try to do some other things. So, just seemed like a really it was interesting, and there's obviously some risk there because if we, the property didn't hit the value that I hoped that it would, you know, I still would have done okay, but we, yeah, we were able to maximize everything.
Right. So I guess when we kind of proposed, giving you like $50,000 up front and renovating the profit and kind of sharing the profit on renovating the property and kind of sharing the profit on like the back end. I mean,
Mhm.
how did that kind of compare to, the other options that you were kind of looking at?
Yeah, well, because I think that was like I think you guys were pretty accommodating to me for that because I was hoping to get some capital fairly quickly. That's kind of why I was contacting home buyers and stuff. So to be able to do that, but then still have the opportunity to make a good return on the back end really was was nice and appealing because I think generally like the options would have been I would have taken a fairly low offer to get the cash up front, but so to be able to have some capital up front to work with and then make make the rest and make more on the back end was nice.
Awesome. And I guess when we kind of started the renovation process, I mean, what was that kind of experience, like from your perspective? Like, did you feel like you were kind of informed with what was going on? Like, did you have to get involved in anything or what was that kind of like?
No, everything ran super smoothly. I was really happy with the way it went. We kind of everything that we talked about previous and the agreements that we had made, everything went according to plan. We had an agreement to, have the bills covered and, I've always received payments. I never had to, struggle to get the payments for that. The renovations, went fairly quickly according, around the timeline that we had discussed, and basically everything that we had talked about, and everything went according to plan. I would say, like you and your team did everything that was promised and required, and I felt like I was always pretty well taken care of. I never really was like felt like I had to fight for anything. Once we kind of made our agreement, made our deal, everything just followed suit, and yeah, it was good. It was a good experience, smooth. Really, once we made the agreement, I didn't have to do much on my end. So yeah, it's
Right.
kind of a
Yeah.
nice hands off uh, experience where I could just sit back and not have to stress about all the renovations and stuff, and
Right.
just we just took care of everything, took
Right.
care of, and I just yeah, just got to sit back and wait a little bit, and yeah, it was worth the wait.
Awesome. I mean, I guess now that we're kind of at the finish line, I mean, Um, how did this kind of end up comparing to, I guess what you kind of originally thought? And, do you feel like you were able to get like by structuring it, the way that we did, where like we were paying for the bills and like gave some money up front, like do you feel like you did a lot better than I guess like a traditional cash sale?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. If I would have just, like I said, I had one cash offer that was a little low. Uh, Considered taking it just to have all the cash up front, but I definitely did a lot better by going this route. By trying to be a little smarter, thinking of it as an investment and trying to get the most capital out of it. And I definitely, yeah, I think I did as good as I could have done, for what we were able to get. I talked to the buyers, and they were super impressed with the renovations. They would actually mention that to me. So, that was a good selling point. And yeah,
Awesome.
I don't think could have really asked for more. It
Amazing.
sold it sold to what I thought was the top higher end of the market value, and I think we did really well, and I'm glad that we did it the way we did. Really worked out
Awesome.
in the end. We really got more more capital in the end out of it for sure.
Right. I mean, if someone else was kind of in like a similar situation, maybe they need some like money up front, but they don't kind of want to leave, I guess, money on the table or I guess like equity on the table. I mean, would you recommend this kind of approach?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. If you don't need the money immediately. I mean, it didn't take really that long from start to finish. And to be able to yeah get some a little bit of capital front to what I needed, to get taken care of immediately, and then still, you know, feel like I got a good deal on the back end was super beneficial. Like when we talked, you guys mentioned about doing it, and but I kind of said, well, I need some capital, I need some money up front, some stuff I want to take care of, and yeah, you guys, were accommodating. We figured a way to structure it that worked for both of us. So I would highly recommend. Uh, yeah, you guys, just came through 100%.
I mean, who do you think this is kind of, would work kind of best for?
Um, yeah, somebody, yeah, that wants to still, get a fair deal, get a good capital, not just, get out quick. Like I said, I was in a position where I didn't know if I was going to be able to finish the renovations in the
Right.
next who knows how long. So
Right.
I was kind of stuck. I was kind of stuck,
Right.
but I was trying to get the most I could. So,
Okay.
some as long as you can don't need all of it, and you can wait for the house to actually sell. Um, yeah, I'd
Right.
say it's the best way to go.
Okay. And I guess kind of as we're kind of wrapping up here, I mean, I guess what made you comfortable like moving forward with us? You said you had another offer. I think we initially made like a cash sort of offer that I know was not really a fit. But I mean, what ended
Mhm.
up, making you kind of comfortable to trust us and kind of move forward with us?
I did some research, and heard good things about um, other people that had worked with you, and just talking with you and dealing with you. Everything was really transparent. You gave me several options. I kind of told you what I was looking for, and you were really good about kind of working with me so that we both kind of got what we were looking for, and we structured it in a way that everybody was happy. So that gave me confidence, and then I just took the trust that you guys would do everything that we talked about, and you guys 100% came through. So yeah, super pleased, and I would 100% recommend you guys. Anybody else in this situation?
I love it. I mean, again, seriously, I really, really appreciate, you trusting me with this and just kind of being willing to jump on. Again, I know it wasn't a typical transaction and again, not everyone's open to doing something kind of creative.
Mhm.
Obviously kind of every situation is different, but there are I like to share that there's more options for sellers beyond just like either a low cash offer or renovating and fixing a house and putting it on the market. Again, I really appreciate you being willing to jump on with me and it really means a lot, Adam.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I feel like you guys did me right. So yeah, I don't mind sharing my experience for sure. I
Okay,
think,
awesome.
yeah, it's kind of in that middle ground of not wanting to just dump it, but not couldn't really get to the point I wanted to on my own. So this was perfect. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad we did it this way and super
Yeah,
happy.
yeah, thank you as well. I mean, what's kind of next for you then? So on Monday, where everything is kind of closed and completed, um, I guess what's next for you?
Got a few bills I'm gonna pay off, be debt free. That'll be a good feeling. And then I'm gonna try and invest for the future. I have
Amazing.
a young son. He's just turned 3. I build a life for him and for me. So try and do some investing, maybe eventually get back into some properties. But, you know, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.